Hi, my name is Tony, and today I'm going to show you how to make a peach crisp from foodsharingvegan.com. I am starting with fresh peaches. I have 7 here that have been washed, pitted, and sliced, and I forgot to save a peach to show you, but I do have this nectarine, and if I were doing it, you have 2 options. You could either slice it and then pull them off the pit. That's a little bit harder in my opinion. What I like to do is just slice all the way around the pit and then slice the peach into thin slices. I would say mine are about 3/4 of an inch. And the most important thing is that they are uniformly sliced so that they bake evenly. You can use any variety of peaches. I'm using yellow peaches because that's what's in season and available at my grocery store. But you can use white peaches. You can also use nectarines, and all of it will turn out the same with this recipe. I'm including the link to the full printable recipe down below, which will have some variations included, like using canned peaches or frozen peaches and how much to adjust sugar, things like that. Also, to start, we're going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 190 degrees Celsius. As I mentioned, I already have my 7 washed and dried and pitted sliced medium to large peaches in this bowl. Now I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Here you can also use brown sugar or maple syrup. Squeeze in the juice of half of a lemon, and I'm using a lemon squeezer. You don't have to use one of those if you don't have one, but I like tools to make things easier in the kitchen. I know that there is a differing mindset that does not want to wash more tools, which I totally understand and respect. Next, we're going to add in some cinnamon, about half of a teaspoon. If you like yours to have a strong cinnamon flavor, I'm also going to be adding some cinnamon to the top that crisps. I also wanted to mention that I do not peel my peaches. I know some people do, but I want those extra nutrients, and I also don't want the extra step. Set it aside. And now we're going to work on our topping. I'm adding 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of old-fashioned oats, about half of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Again, if you like cinnamon, feel free to add in more. I'm going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt and half cup of vegan butter. I'm using Earth Balance, and not all of mine has been fully melted because I was making a big mess in my microwave, but that's okay because it'll melt fully when we are baking it. Now take a spoon and mix everything together. You want it to turn into a bit of a crumble. Once it starts to look crumbly, I am going to set it aside. Mine now looks well mixed, so I am going to set it aside. Now I'm going to go back to my peaches and give those their mix. You can also mix this. I should have done it earlier, I just forgot. Not a big deal. And mix the peaches until everything is well combined. You want the peaches to be covered by the sugar, cinnamon, and salt. And once your peaches are all mixed, then grab a baking dish and evenly distribute peaches throughout the 9x9 square baking dish. You can also use a round baking dish if that's what you have. I'm gonna make sure everything is all evenly distributed. They look and smell very beautiful. Now take the topping for the crisp and evenly distribute that on top of the peaches. I like to have a little bit of the peaches showing just so that it's extra pretty, but you can do as you'd like. We have enough to cover the whole thing or to be a little bit thicker in some other parts, but I'm using all of it. All right, now I'm going to put it in my preheated oven and come back to you in about 45 minutes. My peach crisp is now all finished. I let it sit overnight. You don't have to do that, but do let it sit for a while so that the bottom can thicken a bit. And it is looking so good. I'm going to serve up a slice. Here we go with this taste test. Delicious. This tastes so good. I'm going to include a link to the printable recipe in the caption for you to give it a try. And if you do, please let me know how it goes. Or if you decide to use white peaches or nectarines or plums, let me know how that goes. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!